Okay, all right. So maybe I think maybe you might do the pre-announcement of their second assignment bonus. Is it now or probably later? Which of them?
Maybe at the end of the call
Okay, all right.
or, or later. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let us start. So let me share my screen.
Hi, Joe. Do you want to say something?
Yes, I think you should announce the assignments now and also by the end because network can be funny at times and I might not stay to the end or someone might not stay to the end. So I think you can just
It
do
will
it
be
now
shared. It will
and
be
do it
shared
by
to the
end.
Slack channel at the end of the
Okay,
day, regardless.
okay,
So if you don't get
okay,
it now, you get it on Slack.
okay. Thank you.
Alright, no problem.
All right, guys. So today we'll be talking about information architecture, and this is a very important topic, not just in technical writing and not just in writing, but generally in everything we do. So why did I say that? Why I say that is because organization is very important. Keeping things clean so people can easily find it. It's very, very important. All right. So now what is information architecture? So information architecture is the organization and structure of documentation that allows readers to use it effectively. So for those of us that have been writing before, and for those that love reading, when you have a book, probably let me say you bought a book, maybe a novel. Let me use for the ladies that love reading novels that are very big, that probably you have over 1,000 pages. But you see, whenever you stop at page 215, you can still locate that this is page 215, even 3 months after if you stopped at that place. So there are reasons why they brought in some mechanism so you can easily find content. So it's very, very important. All right, so let's talk about the information architecture components. So this is where I will lay out those components I talked about. So one of them is organization, schemes, and structures. Just call it organization. So this is how you categorize and structure information. So let's say you're writing about what would I use? Okay, you have a book that is talking about. Let me use my normal example, the food stuff. And now you want to write about food, maybe Nigerian delicacy, Ghana. Okay, just like the argument they're having with the Ghana jollof rice and Nigerian jollof rice. But you're writing a book about those kind of things. So to make it easy for people to understand, you're going to categorize it. You're going to categorize it where you have in the Ghana jollof rice, you have how am I going to put it? Okay, you have a category called jollof rice. You have the jollof rice. You have under the jollof rice, you have Ghana and you have Nigeria. Okay, let me say I want to add one more country. You have Kenya. So you're doing that. So somebody wants to know anything about any jollof rice. They will start from the category first of jollof rice. This is for jollof. For under rice, you have jollof rice, fried rice. So you go under the jollof rice. Then under the jollof rice, to make it easier for them to find what they're looking for, you have what you give it a name of the Ghana, the Nigerian, and the Kenya jollof rice. So if I'm looking for Ghana jollof rice, once I open the book, I just see the category. It's easier for me to find. But what if you didn't do it like that? You just rice and there are some certain things you read, you're very confused just to look for something. Just see rice, and under the rice, you're just seeing lots of definition of some stuff. They're explaining jollof rice, they're explaining how Ghana do their jollof rice. In that same this thing, you're talking about Kenya jollof rice. In that same content, you're talking about Nigerian jollof rice. People will be confused. So the reason for information architecture is to make sure you arrange things so it will be easy for people to find. Okay, let me still use our household. Most of us here that our parents want to kill us because we don't know how to arrange things. So this topic would definitely help you. You know, there are people houses you will go to. Just step into the house, you're like, man, this house is well arranged. You can imagine. Some other houses you go to, like, I don't understand how people do things here. Okay, what if you come to my house? I say, okay, go to the shelf, go here. At the top, you see where I labeled something: knife, spoon, fork, and cup, and pot, and all this. So go to the place labeled cup. You would see where I keep my cup. Then I have another label for glass cup and rubber cup. You can imagine how arranged that thing is. So you just, even if you didn't even give me that, I just say me go to this place, you will see cups. Once I get there, I'm looking for okay, let me say I'm looking for ceramic cup. If I get there, I'm seeing the label of the glass cup or the ceramic cup or this. It will be easier for me to find and just get it. Now, even if you didn't label it, but you arrange it in a way I would understand. Once I get to where I want, and okay, this is where you keep all your cups. This is where you keep your spoon. This is where you keep all your forks. I would understand. Once I get there, and the way you arrange it, still make me understand that this is well arranged, and I can easily find what I'm looking for without even disturbing you. So there are contents you would write. If you have a button for let me say help or button for more information and people are filling form, your email box will be filled with so many questions like, how can I find this? Where did you put this? This topic is very important. So I'm using this kitchen food so you understand how important it is. Now bring it to writing. You're reading the content about what is blockchain or what is a laptop. You're not seeing an image of a laptop. First of all, that's confusion. You'll be confused. Like, I want to see the laptop they're talking about. That's number one. Secondly, the journey is wrong, where you have what is a laptop, and maybe you have instead of having something closer that will make you want to really understand what a laptop is and what it's used for, or how it looks like, or maybe what it contains, or what we can do with a laptop. The next thing you're seeing phone versus laptop. You'll be so confused. So let me use another example again. For those that read books, you see that when you open your book, you'll see probably like table of contents with numbers. Introduction is number 1. This is number 2. And sometimes they even categorize it in a way they'll make it even easier. Maybe they will like, maybe introduction, they would say overview, this. Introduction is number 1 to 30, page 1 to 30. Come down, installation, they talk about the things you can install. Installation is 31 to 35. That is the book. Now, if you're looking for installation, the page you look for installation, once you just open that first page, you would see what you're looking for. Okay, I'm looking for installation. You go to page 35, you just open page 35. It's very easy. So that is how important it is. Now, I've talked about the labeling system. Now, the navigation, how you move, I've also talked about that. Now, the section for search. When you go to some documentations, let me call documentations, you don't see the feature for search because it's important. Okay, let me give you that example in books too. At the back of your book, you have the glossary that will probably give you definition of some important terms in that book or that content. Now, and they normally come with some of them. You see some will also come with probably where you can see them. Page this, you can find this in page 1, page 5. They like give you the list of pages you can find that. So that is making it easier for you to find that in the book, search for something you're looking for. Even in that first page, also make it easy for you to search for what you're looking for. So when you're writing your content, have this at the back of your mind. And when you want to do your assignment, also have it at the back of your mind that this particular thing I'm writing about, how will somebody search for something without asking question? That's why it's always good when you write, try to give a third eye, or probably second eye, let me say second eye, to probably look and see if they would tell them to be very honest. Look at this and tell me if you understand it very well. Now the navigation system is okay. Sorry, now you have seen what I've written so far. Now, can you just go through and see if you have issues moving from here to there, trying to understand probably the journey of reading this book? Because what I'm talking about the journey is there are some table of content you would see, you'll be confused. You won't even probably understand what it means. Some don't even label their systems very well, don't label their content very well. Now, there are names you would use. You don't, like in technical writing, we all know you don't use ambiguous. Don't use a name too big that will make somebody to probably have a dictionary by the side just to read. So you want to talk about introduction, and you looked for, okay, let me give an example. Like most of us that write technical content, maybe at the first you have introduction, maybe you want to write about, let me say, you want to write about WhatsApp. And now, introduction, you explain WhatsApp. Then the next is prerequisite. Now, that prerequisite is a word that many people don't know what it means, but you probably see it almost everywhere. So, but people are used to requirements. When they see requirement, they're like, okay, yeah, it means these are the things you require before you probably go there. But people now use, you see prerequisite almost everywhere. Me, the first time I saw it, to be honest, I had to Google like, what does this mean? I was seeing what they are talking about on that, but I just want to know what this word means first of all. I had to browse. I said, oh, this means requirements. So they are trying to change requirements and use a different word. So the most important thing in technical writing or in information architecture is not you trying to use a popular word. Your main goal is to use a word that will make it easier for people to understand and find that content. So don't look at people are using requirements too much. Let me change and know. If people understand requirement, use requirements so that you can easily find the content without asking so much questions. So you have the introduction, the next thing is prerequisite. People start using dictionary to check. Requirements is understood for them to, okay, requirements is this. Installation, some people probably use a different word for installation. People use installation too much. I don't want to follow people. Let me use, you just use what people will understand. It's as simple as that. So people don't get to ask. It's just like in UI UX design, they always say, try to make your UI as simple as possible. Then the UX, make it easy for people to navigate your product. So it will be easier for them, not trying to put too much colors. Make too much colors, rainbow colors, and you're having it's too shouty for the ladies, or it's too, for me, let me just use the word shouty. So there are apps you would use. You don't have too much colors, not too much design, not too much buttons, but you know how to use that app without even asking. In short, it's as if you are the one that created it, because it's easy for you to just navigate, understand. The way the labeling are very fine. You see home, it's home. You see contact, it's contact. You see about us, it's about us. But there are some apps, they'll be using something different. Some won't even use a name. They'll probably use an icon. What if I don't understand the icon? That is confusion number one. So it's important for us to know that in information architecture, these components are very, very important. The organization, how you organize your content, how you label your content, how you arrange the navigation system, and also the search system. So it will be easy for people to navigate. Now, in your assignment, have this at the back of your mind that you need to implement this, because it's very, very, very important. When you give your work to a recruiter and they probably go through it without even asking questions, just enjoy everything about it. Trust me, you're a step closer to getting that job. So this is a very, very important topic. So how to create an information architecture. All right, so there are people involved and things involved that would help us create a perfect information architecture. Now you have the first one, which is gathering information from stakeholders or research. So stakeholders are those that have a say in a particular product or tool. For example, you have the developer that builds that tool, the product manager that is managing that product, and you have the UI guy that also builds the UI of that tool. So these are stakeholders, not just the CEO and the CTO. So now these people have a say in the structure or in the destructure of that product or that tool. So now you are writing about WhatsApp. So let me use WhatsApp for example. We all know what. So you are writing about WhatsApp. So if you want to, make sure you build a very good information architecture of WhatsApp, you need to have a discussion with those people. Probably call them stakeholders or you call them subject matter experts. So because they know a lot about that too, because they built it for the developer and the UI guy, and for the product manager, he's managing it, so he knows a lot. And for the QA guy, that is testing almost every feature they are bringing out. So these are the stakeholders you need to meet. So meeting them will give you a very good understanding as a technical writer to probably know how to write that particular content, how to label it majorly, because you're meeting them for probably two reasons. One is the labeling system, because there are some tools or some languages you want to write about. So they have their own acronyms, they have their own kind of terms or way they name their features, which is not a general naming system. So you need to understand that because of the kind of audience you're writing about. So you need to understand that from those stakeholders. Now, the organization, when you understand that, they would also explain how it can be organized. So you get to understand that. So the major two reasons you're meeting these people are for the organization and for the labeling system. So for the research, let's say you're not meeting the stakeholders, you don't know the stakeholders, but you want to make a research about that topic. So, the first step is to make research about that topic. So you get to understand a lot. Now, the content inventory is just like where you have your words stored, like a storehouse, you have everything stored in the past. So you can go back there and get an understanding of how things are structured. So that will give you a very good understanding on how to go forward. Now you have the content audit. Audit is you checking the particular content or checking anything to find fault and provide solution. So you do a content audit after meeting the first people, stakeholders, to get information, understand what to do about the labeling system and organization. Then you have go over to the content inventory to know how things have been done in the past, to understand how they have their structures and every other stuff. Then you now do an audit with all this information to come up with a better solution. So you run an audit and you go through a content to find faults and to see if you could probably provide solution to those faults. The next one is you establish a consistent content model and guidelines. You have done the first, second, and third. This is how it follows. Then the next is for you to have a content model and you have a guideline. You have your writing style guide. So with all these things, okay, let's work with this writing style guide. Let's work with this content model. So everything is consistent across all our documents, make it easier for people to find content and have more visibility to your content. Now, the last is you have understood 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the last one is where to categorize your content. You've not gotten everything you need. Now, the last point is, okay, this is what I have. I've met this person. I've gone to the inventory. I've seen how it is structured in the past. I ran an audit to find the problem, and I have the solutions. Now I've established a consistent model from all those information I have, and I have a guideline that will follow. Any content you're creating will follow this guideline. Let's say, for instance, say whenever anything laptop, anything that is in form of laptop, phone, or any devices at all, you might call it, the name will be gadget. You have that guideline to follow this at the beginning of every sentence. You need to start, just to make it easy for people to understand your content and find content, organize it very well. So the last point, you have everything, you now categorize the content. So I guess we'll stop here. So if you have any question, you can ask. All right. We can ask a question. Okay, let me just, sorry, before I ask a question, let me probably check. Let me check for something and share with us so we can really understand what I mean. Okay, so I'll be sharing a content. I'll be sharing a page here. Where is it? Right, so, okay, let me share my screen. So if we understood this class. All right, so let's take this page as an example from what we discussed today. Sorry. So looking at this now, this is the first page you're looking at. Now, we talked about information architecture, arranging content. So looking at this, just can somebody drop in the chat? Let me give 2 minutes. Or let's say let me give 2 minutes. Drop in the chat what you think is wrong from here, from this installation down to this change log. What do you think is not in the right position? So drop it in the chat while I take questions. Okay, so guys, if you have any question, let me share it in the chat so you can go through that. I feel you can go on with your question.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wisdom. My question is the documentation. Is it only when working on documentation sites or maybe making a proper documentation that these guidelines are important? Can it also be used in writing like a normal technical article? Thank you.
Yeah, yes, for sure. Which I explained that is not only even just for writing. You also see that in UI. You also see that even when you build your softwares. Okay, let's say for example, okay, let me use WhatsApp, which I use. You wrote about WhatsApp. Now, first thing to come up is supposed to be introduction, so people understand that okay, this is what you're writing about. The next topic they're supposed to, so let me say subtopic they're supposed to come in your content is supposed to be installation. Now I know that this is WhatsApp. Now, how can I install this WhatsApp? Now imagine you're writing about WhatsApp and you don't have your content, you're writing a technical article and you don't have anything like installation. So how will I even know how to install which is to me is useless because I will read and at the end I can't even practicalize it. So it's important not only for documentation, also for not only for even technical writing, like I said, is for all writing, creative writing, any other writing you can think about. Not just writing, not even only UI, UX. You find it in software development, you find it in everywhere. Like I give examples in our homes. Some of us might not be, maybe after this call, probably implement IA in our homes. Most are not doing that. Like I give example of coming into somebody's home and you want to go and get cup. You go to the kitchen and the kitchen is on you see one cup here, you see the other cup here, ceramic cup here, you see glass cup on the other side, you see a rubber cup. But what if you have that rubber cup one place with the other cups, but you're having a demarcation that this is only for rubber, this is only for ceramic, this is only for glass, this is where you keep your spoon, your plates. Now bring it to your writing. You're writing about something, the other the order in which you write about it will probably, make people understand it and enjoy it, or probably make people, go away from that. You wrote about WhatsApp, you have introduction, you don't have an installation, that will probably make me go off. You have an installation of WhatsApp, you don't have an image of the WhatsApp. I need to see how, because for me, like sometimes I just want to see a lot even before I start downloading. What if you explained, show me image of the WhatsApp. When I download the WhatsApp, this is the first screen I will see, how to use the WhatsApp. You don't have that section, it's confusing. Or maybe you have the section of how to use the WhatsApp, but there are subtopic that will probably make me understand it more. Like if you go to WhatsApp, you have the chat, you have the call, you have the video, you have the status. Maybe you have all this and you missed out the status. That is probably not good. So you need to have all that so people can easily find content. All right, so any other question? So what do you have in the chat? Introduction is absent. Who else again? Okay, wishing us speedy recovery. Thank you. Glossary is meant to come last. That's good. That's good. I think functional architecture can be under. That's nice. I think idea should come with functional architecture and glossary should be at the last. Okay, I will take the last point, but the functional should be on that. I agree with Jennifer. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So let me call on Jennifer. So why do you say so? So guys, just bring the questions while I have some conversations on here. So Jennifer.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Happy new one.
Yeah, you're laughing.
Really excited to be here. Yes. So just like you said, concerning going to the kitchen, and you have like a section for cups, and some are ceramic, some are plastic. So just bringing that into this. So we have architecture generally. So we could have functional architecture, any other kind of architecture you want to have. You feel like is required in the document. I feel like yes. So bringing that into perspective, yes. So that's why I felt the arrangement should be like
Yeah, sure. You're
Thank you.
absolutely correct. Okay, so while we're waiting for questions, let me go to who do we have here? Okay, Monachi. So Monachi, so why do you say the glossary should come last?
Okay, hi everybody.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Glossary in a book is the last page where you can use to like sort out like if you're looking for like a word in like
Yeah, can hear you.
yeah, I can hear you. Sorry. Um
Okay.
why I said glossary should come last is because glossary in like a book is where you go in and you if you're looking for a word, you can easily go there, look through what is in the glossary and just like identify the word, then go to the exact place it is in. So that's why I said glossary should come last.
Okay, yeah, you're absolutely correct. All right, so let's go to Messi. So Messi said introduction is absent. But we have introduction here, but it's not named introduction. So tell us, is that a problem? So looking at my screen, I don't know if I'm sharing my screen. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. So looking at my screen, this, can I see my screen? Just put in the chat. So
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
all right, so this is introduction. Talked about this, but they didn't call it introduction. So Messi, do you think that's the problem?
Hello, everyone. I don't think so, but just like you thought, like it depends on the word they want to use. Is either prerequisite or this introduction. I felt when you say getting started, I was wondering if that is the introduction because you start. I'm looking at the table of contents, not where your cursor is. the other, the left ahead, that place. So I felt introduction would have been the first thing before the installation. My thoughts. I
Okay,
think I'm
okay.
totally wrong. Mm.
All right. Thank you so much for that. So, anyways, you're not wrong, but when it comes to that, everybody have a way of probably naming what they want to name, but having an introduction would make it easier for people to know that this is what it means. And just having the getting started, you should be expecting something under here, not installation next. So, like I said, you're correct on that. Okay, so who else again? Okay, Basi says she's agree. I think the subheading, I got confused. Okay. All right. All right, guys. So any questions so far before we talk about our assignment? All right, guys. Any question? I think we need to talk about that.
Hand is up.
Yeah, hi, Basi. Hi, Basi. I can hear you.
So I said I think someone's hand is up. I thought he wanted to ask a question.
Okay, no, I was asking any question and I said I wanted to ask a question. Okay, so the assignment will be shared by let me see, is this person here? Bibi, are you here? Oh, she has left.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So yeah, so I think this is your turn.
Okay. Are we sharing the first assignment? Are we sharing the first assignment or the first assignment? We should leave that up to the mentors now to announce it to them, or I'm talking now about our second assignment.
Yeah, so maybe we'll share first assignment, then the mentors will probably, for those that don't understand much about it, will probably elaborate that with them and maybe give them a tip of what they would get from the second assignment.
Okay. Okay, good evening everyone. How are we doing? Okay, so our first assignment is coming, give or take, at the beginning of this new week we just started. Okay, we're about to start actually. The mentors would share our first assignment with everyone on the group. So that first assignment is also individually, but then you have the access to work as a group. But then now the second assignment we would be having is the one that is really, really competitive. It is very competitive because I don't know. I don't know if anyone, if for those of you that follow Wisdom on Twitter, you might have gotten an update or they have seen the tweet all of Twitter when he said something was cooking for the technical writing community. So the whole thing was successful. That is the what gave rise to the second assignment. We'll be working with the GLAPS team on your second assignment, and at the end of the day you are going to be writing a very the duties of the assignment will be communicated to you on Slack, yes, but it's going to involve a lot of writing, a lot of research, a lot of putting out value for the with the GLAPS software, with the GLAPS product. And at the end of the day, the winners of the winners or the people that will be picking the articles that meet the certain criteria that will be passed will be winning prizes. That is $100 each. We might have, I am not certain of the figures yet, but we might be selecting up to 10. I don't know if that figure is correct. Wisdom will maybe selecting up to 10
Yeah,
articles.
for now, the GLAPSy would take for one person, but going forward, it might
Okay.
increase.
Okay. So we'll be selecting a few number of people that would be winning the $100. So your article has to really, really be good. Your article has to go and take in a lot of research. But we would first work on the first assignment to test yourself, to test your skills and all of that. Then when the second assignment drops, the second assignment comes with the reward. Everyone gets a recognition of participating, but then the people with the best articles get the $100 prize attached to it. So that's I think that's majorly it for now.
Yeah, thank you for that. So, and the whatever content you would write is yours, and not owned by me, not even owned by the labs team, not even owned by your dad. So it's owned by you. You post it anywhere you want. So now the way we do assignments is before you post your assignment, you make sure your mentor have approved that your assignment is good to go. Then you would upload it. But if not good to go and you upload it, we're not going to acknowledge that we accepted that because we need to make sure it meets all criteria before we can tell you go ahead and submit your assignment. So like I will say again, the assignment is yours and yours only. So you will choose where you want to post it. Now we have our own blog section. So we're picking out a few assignments or articles or content going forward, which we post on our blog. So for those that we think that are very good on that, so we pick up the content and post on our blog. And even if that is on our blog, it's still owned by you and not by any other person. So you have every right to own it. Your name, your details will be there that it was written by this person. Everything that will make it to be linked to you, we'll make sure we add it because it's not written by any person from the technical writing mentorship team, but by you. So any question, guys, concerning the assignment, concerning what we discussed today? Barak, you're already motivated. So you're not motivated since. Okay. All right. So any other question, guys, before we go?
Mubarak is asking if there's any hints. We already shared the possible hints you can get. So you just look forward to the announcement on Slack and everything. Just try to really stay consistent on Slack. A lot of us we are slacking because it's a weekend program. Like you have a lot of the days, but you should just keep checking the channel, engage your mentors, engage your teammates so you're always available. It might get to a certain stage in the program where we might just drop something for the fastest people that are available and then they get it and then that's it. So just try and stay consistent on Slack. That's as much hints you can get.
All right, guys. Any question? Okay. You can now.
So I want to ask, good evening.
Yeah,
Good
good evening,
evening.
Rashid.
Yeah, so I want to ask, this assignment you are talking about, is it different as in the first and the second one? I want to believe that either of the two is not included in the inter-group competition.
No. This is the general assignment for everybody and not for your teams alone.
Okay, okay.
All right.
So,
All right. Right. So Rashid, you can now.
Good evening. Please, it's just an observation. In the announcement for this class, I saw 8 p.m. Okay, so I was working towards 8 p.m. But then the link for the meeting was dropped by 7:44. Okay, and by 8 p.m. when I now joined the meeting, now I found out that you guys have gone far. So,
Okay.
so that means that we started earlier than 8 that was announced. So
Okay, no. I didn't start. I didn't start early. What I did was just communicating with a few persons online, just to get their thoughts on a few things. I started 8 on the dot to talk
okay,
about the topic for today. So you can
okay,
join early because whenever I join early, I always get to ask a few questions and we just discuss on some topics. So not like we're talking about the main topic of the day.
okay.
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
very
much
much.
for that. Yep. Okay, Rashid.
yeah, so another thing I discovered today was I see that the person in the flyer that is shared for today's talk wasn't the person that was speaking. So I don't know what happened.
Okay. Yeah. So she's ill. She sent me a message yesterday that she couldn't make it because she's ill, very sick. In fact, she's in the hospital right now as we speak. So I had to step in for her since she couldn't make it. Sorry for that. All right. So before we close, we will be having. Sorry, let me open my to talk about what we have next. So Now the assignment will be shared by your mentors. What is this? So your mentors will share the assignment, and now you're done with February. You're done with information architecture. So now the next thing we'll talk about is GitHub, Git and GitHub. So we have two classes for that. So the first class is more about theory, where they'll just explain a few stuff for about Git and GitHub, not having much practical at all, because the topic is broad, so you can't have everything in one day. Just talk a few things about that, give a few illustrations to make you understand Git and GitHub. Then the next day, because we're having a 10th and 11th, so 11th will now be practical, where you come and you get to practicalize it, from beginning to the end. It's no more about talking this time around. You've learned about the talking, now it's time for you to do the practical. Get all hands to be on deck that day. So I would also advise that everyone would come with your laptop. And okay, anyways, your mentors will share in advance for those that have not worked with Git or GitHub in the past. So they will share in advance the tools you will need to install to get yourself ready. So I won't call it prerequisites, I'll say the requirements of the class. So you understand what I mean. So they will share all that with you, so you get yourself ready. So the class, you don't probably say, hey, I didn't install this, let me install it. While you're installing, class is going. So you should be ready. So when your speaker say, press this, press that, you press that. So you see it working. So that is for that class. 10th is theory, 11th is practical. Yeah, Victoria.
Good evening. Thank you for the teaching. So I just wanted to confirm. I know we normally have our classes on Friday, but because I just realized yesterday that it was past 9. I was like, oh, I missed the class, and I saw that it was today. So would it be like our classes would be now be from Saturdays, or it would still remain on Fridays?
Okay, no,
Um,
okay, yeah, go ahead and give me sorry.
okay, hi, Victoria. So I think people are misunderstanding how the program works. The program is a weekend program. So we've been working with Friday because mostly because it works well with our speakers. But the classes would hold anytime from Friday till Sunday. We could actually have a class by Sunday evening if it works very well with the schedules of our speakers. So we could have the class on Friday, we could have the class on Saturday and on Sunday, and there could be times where we would have a class that spins off from Friday and also to Saturday. Like the class he just announced we're going to be having next week. It's going to happen Friday and Saturday. So we don't have the weekend is not fixed for it. It could come in Friday, it could come in Saturday, it could come in Sunday. So maybe I think we made a lapse in the communication, and people did not really understand when we said it was a weekend program. It is not a Friday class fixed in. We did not say that. It's going to happen anytime within the weekend. I just hope that clears it up for you, Victoria.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, hello.
Yes, Rashid.
I want to know what is happening to the Slack, our Slack community. As in, for my own group, the group I belong, as in, there's no much engagement. Like only very few, if not 5 people or 5 to 4 people that are participating in the interaction that is happening. So I don't know, maybe if it happens to other groups we have on the Slack there. So, and I see that the numbers of participants we have there are over 500. So, yeah, so I want to know what is happening. Are you trying to check,
Um,
investigate that?
okay. Hi, Rashid. Thank you for that. I don't know if you could reach out to me on WhatsApp on Slack and share me the group you belong to and the details. But I mean, virtually, I'm in all of the groups, and I would say this is not the case in all of the groups. There are a lot of groups that are very active. A lot of groups are already ready for the intergroup competition already. So if this is happening to your group, you have my details. You know my Slack user, my Slack handle. You know Wisdom's handle. If you notice a lapse, a situation as this, you could reach out to either one of us and share your concerns about it, and then we would have it. Would have check on it and work on that. But this is not the case for every other group. I don't need to even start listing the groups. A lot of the groups are actually working. So this is just your group. And maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a concern like this for other groups. So if this is happening, please reach out to me after this call, the name of your group and the concern you just shared, so we can work on that. Thank you.
I think
Okay, so any other question, any other contribution? Do we have any more question, guys? If I don't know, if there's no other thing, can we end the class?
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys for having me today.
Okay, thank you everyone. Please, when
Thank you.
when when we start to drop the social pages for today's classes and the subsequent classes, please try to engage on social media. We really, really need that assistance because that is your little contribution you do towards the program, and we appreciate it. So thank you guys for today's class. Have a wonderful night. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye. Good night.